How is everyone? Isa, Odiota.
Zendi fine. Poza abalala abali ebbali bane mujje tubeeko kye tukola.
Praise.
I'm okay. Yes.
Waliwo lisa kyatugamba.
How are you? They do like.
Okay, guys. So, I'm giving the energizer. You guys want sign language?
Since everyone is so interested in the sign languages,
Look at me.
tugenda labo bamwina bye mwize. Eh? You come in the middle. You come in the middle. You do a sign language.
So, I'm going to give you a sign and you guys do what I'm saying, right? So guys, standing, right? Calm down. Okay, guys, don't want it down. You want the DJ is around. But some people are asking for this. No. Okay, guys, space.
Okay, we go back. Gende wa.
Hello. Bano baliwa? Hello? Hello? All right, welcome back from the break. We are going in for the next session, and our next facilitator is SP Caroline. Let's welcome her with an abako. Abako, Kalabanda, SP.
Thank you. Good morning, participants. Good morning, participants. Who didn't take breakfast? You didn't? What is it? Are you fasting? Oh, he didn't take. Oh, he needs the second cup. Oh, okay, I see. Anyone that has seen me before? Anyone? Who? I'll give you 10,000 if you're there. Cash. You have seen me before? Say the names, and we begin from there.
Your names or where I saw you?
Where you saw me and the names. You cannot see me without knowing at least one name.
Oh, yeah, at least 5,000.
No. Someone's hand is behind there. She has seen me before and knows the name. Where you saw me and the names.
I saw you last year in this same room. You were facilitating the PR22 and you're called Kushemere Raprosi.
The new ones, the new members. Thank you so much. That one saw me last year. The new ones. Those who are not here last year.
You are called Shemera Prosi, and you deal with police in that part of gender.
Where have you seen me? You heard from her?
No.
Where did you see me? Or where
I see you
did
on
you
social
hear
media.
Where exactly?
Platforms.
Because I know.
On Twitter.
That is a lie.
Not
That is a lie. So apart from someone who attended last year, no one has seen me before. Do we agree? Not in town. Hey, you've seen me today. Okay. A minute, please. Shows which side? The other side on the wall? Yeah, you're using the TV. This side, people can be able to see. I'm not called Kushemererwa Prosi, I'm called Kushemererwa Caroline. And I'm a police officer. I'm a superintendent of police. But I normally choose not to come in uniform for these trainings because we have our sisters and brothers who have issues with the uniform. So I also decide to leave the uniform there. I head the Child and Family Protection Unit for Kampala Metropolitan Police. Kampala Metropolitan Police headquarters are found at the Central Police Station. You know that one? Yes, that is where I sit. If you're looking for me, that is the place. As they organize the presentation, we are going to look at sexual and gender-based violence. And we shall also look at the referral network. Have we heard about, I'm a bit speedy, but when I'm too speedy, you let me know so that I can reduce on the speed, yes? I also joined police in 2007 after finishing campus from Chambogo University in 2005. I joined after 2 years in the field. So at least I've been in the police for more than 10 years. Do we know something about sexual and gender-based violence? I know we know. There is nothing that I'm going to talk about that is new, apart from talking about the law. Isn't it? We know these things. We watch them on TV. We see them every day. They have happened to our brothers and sisters. They have happened to our mothers and fathers. So there is nothing new. Apart from me twisting a bit that the law says this, alleged what, only that. But there is nothing that is new. So have we heard something about sexual and gender-based violence? You can even, don't define the whole statement. For you, you can even pick one. You say sexual, another one can say gender-based violence, another one can decide to explain violence, and then we shall add and get there. Yes? Sexual and gender-based violence. Maybe I can, a marker somewhere.
Here.
Remember, I'm also a teacher by profession, so I can try to write here something. Do I have OBs and OGs of Chambago University? Hey, really? Where are they? Okay, nice to meet you. Makere, I'm also coming. I'm not too late. Help me and thank you. Yes, sexual and gender-based violence. Yeah, she has something? Uh-huh.
I had something.
Name and
My name is Claudia.
Flavia?
Claudia.
Claudia. Oh, okay.
I want to talk about sexual abuse.
Sexual abuse. Yes?
It's any sexual activity that occurs without someone's consent.
Yes. Thank you so much. That is good. Someone's consent. Underline that one.
Thank you.
Yes.
Arnold Muju is my name. I'm talking about gender-based violence. This is the situation of, let me say, situation of harming, mistreating and harassing an individual because of their gender.
Thank you so much. You have brought that one. Gender. Because you are a girl, because you are a boy, because you are a woman, because you are a man. Yes?
My name is Wills.
Who?
Wills.
Wills. Yes?
Yeah.
I like the names here. .com names. Yes?
So, sexual and gender-based violence simply means the quarrels and fights among married couples.
Yes, among married couples. We have keywords there, married couples. Underline that one, married couples. Yes.
Yeah, my name is Shama, and what I think is that an attempt to obtain a sexual act.
A what? Which?
An attempt to obtain a sexual act, like
You're
unwanted.
defining sexual violence? Yeah. Both. Uh-huh. Repeat again. I didn't pick very well.
I think it's like an attempt to obtain a sexual act.
Oh, it can be by coercion. It can be by forceful means. You're right. All the answers, by the way, are right. You will see us when we are joining them together that all your keywords are right. Yes?
My name is Adeline, and the term gender-based violence. This is the violence directed towards someone because of their gender. It can be male or female.
Because of what?
Their gender.
Their?
Gender.
Gender. Yes, thank you so much. Because of their gender, because they are a girl, because they are... Can we go this side? Uh-huh. Are we about? We about? Sexual and gender-based violence.
Yes, madam. I'm called Burnett. I think sexual and gender violence, I can simplify it to saying that it is use of force either in a family between couples.
Use of force in what?
a family, in a family. Okay, it's between couples.
Force in what?
It could be any force because violence differs. It could be force in relationship-related issues, or it could be force which has been caused by a different thing in the family, different activity.
Yes, thank you so much. You're right. I think 2 hands and then we move forward.
Yeah. I'm Vianney.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think to make it more simple, this is inappropriate behavior that is displayed or exhibited towards the other gender.
I've not got you very well.
Okay, it's inappropriate behavior that is it, can I say, like to display behavior towards certain a boy, it can be towards a man, a woman, yeah.
Yes, you're right. Thank you so much. The last one.
Musinguzi Asa. I may refer sexual violence to sexual assault, where sex is like forced.
It's like what?
It is forced, not with
No
a person's
consent.
inner consent, yeah.
Someone forces into someone. Have you seen those ones that have, by the way, when those ones are forced, do they say, where we stay there, have we ever got a victim of sexual violence? Someone that has been forced. Do they report cases? They don't report. I've also had cases of incest. When I say incest, do you understand? Are those cases reported there in our? A brother has slept with a sister, she has conceived and produced a child. Those ones, they say they are cast what? Those are children that you will see 50-50. Sometimes they don't talk. Sometimes they fail to walk, you know. But those cases are not what? Not reported. Including us here, we don't also, we keep quiet within the family. You have a question? A question and then we move forward. I can begin.
Physical. Okay. Is violence only physical? It can also be psychological.
Yes, it is not only physical, and we shall look at the various forms of violence where we are heading, but it is not only physical. So as we wait for the technology to work, let's move. I said that sexual and gender-based violence is a pervasive global health problem. It is not only here in Uganda. It affects everyone in the world. And it is primarily rooted in the gender norms. The attitudes, the practices are all related to gender. We shall be looking at them when we look at the forms. And we looked at, when you look at the gender norms, each culture has its own beliefs. They differ according to the culture. And we shall also look at what gender means in detail. Sexual violence poses a significant risk, and it has high harmful consequences. So the objectives of this session, we shall look at, we shall define sexual and gender-based violence and its forms, which are sometimes called as acts. We shall also identify the referral pathway for sexual and gender-based violence. We shall look at the roles of peer educators in the prevention and response to sexual and gender-based violence. So, sexual and gender-based violence is any act that is perpetrated. Do we know the meaning of perpetrated? You don't know the meaning? Can someone Google that one? Because I might put it again in another difficult one. Can someone Google perpetrated from the word perpetrator? Do you know a perpetrator? You know a perpetrator? In simple English, how can we explain that? Wrongdoer. So perpetrated means what? Doing wrong. As the people of Gogo do the needful. Have you got it?
No, this is just my own. So a puppet is something, is someone or something that doesn't do something on its own. So I'll give you an example of puppet leaders. Okay, this is, if people don't record this, I don't want the drum to come for me. But a puppet leader is when you find a country, an African country, let me just use it as a whole. You're an African leader, but then you're being controlled by maybe someone from Europe. Okay, so you're being a puppet leader because you're not putting laws on your own. Someone else is using you to amend their own laws.
To do
so you're being a puppet. So I think puppetry is maybe mimicking or doing something that is not of your own.
Yes, perpetrator. No one has Googled that word. Simple English, perpetrator.
Perpetrator is a person who carries out harmful, illegal, or immoral acts.
Doing what?
Who carries out a harmful, illegal, or immoral acts.
Have we got the meaning of perpetrator? Perpetrated. Doing wrong acts, is that the English? Yes. The perpetrator at the same time can be a suspect or an accused. Those are the words that we normally use. So I said it is any act perpetrated against a person's will and is based on gender norms and unequal power relations. Do we understand the unequal power relations? Or power imbalance? Unequal power relations. When I say unequal power relations, simple English, what does it mean? Meaning that there is somewhere where the weighing machine is not balancing. For example, a man and a woman, who has more power than the other? A what? Man. Where does he get the power from? Society has brought it that way. Where the society where we have grown up from, it has put a man up and put a woman where? So that is the unequal power relations that we are seeing. And the man has used that tradition to perpetrate violence. That is why you find a woman is working and a man is not working, but still the man will be what? A man in the home. You will find a woman is working and the man takes over the money. As long as you have dug in my garden, the benefits are mine. Gender-based violence, it is any act in form of physical, mental, economic, or social abuse which is directed at a person on the basis of gender or sex. So that one shows the different forms of gender-based violence. So what is gender? Gender-based violence. I said it is any act that is in form of physical. It can be physical, it can be mental, it can be economic. Mental, at the same time you can say psychological. It can be economic, it can be social abuse, and is directed at a person on the basis of gender. It is like a girl today, maybe a parent has not yet got all the money for school fees. The boy will go first and the girl will go later. Oh, I don't have money, the boys can first study. After some years, then the girls can also do what? Yes, that is the gender that is directed on the basis of either sex, a person on the basis of sex or gender. So what is gender? Do you have anyone that can define that one? Gender, yes.
Gender is a social construction of men
You're
and
not
women.
Yes? Gender is?
How women and men are socially constructed.
Uh-huh. Thank you. Yes?
My name is Arthur, and I think, okay, same thing. Gender is what society expects men and women to do. Gender is what society expects men and women to do. That's what
A man to do what they expect a woman to do. Your hand was up? As if I saw your hand up. To remove this. Okay. So I'm saying that gender, those are socially constructed and determined roles, responsibilities, behavior, attributes. They can be activities, they are opportunities and characteristics of women, men, boys, and girls in any given culture. For example, in Karamoja, do we have anyone from Nakapiripirit here? Someone from there? Katakwi? Someone from Soroti there? Soroti. Do you know something that happens in Katakwi? And Nakapiripirit. Who constructs the house?
It's the lady.
The ladies.
Yes.
Yes. Nakapiripirit, that is the Karamoja area. The ladies construct the what? In Buganda here, who is supposed to construct the house? The man. Are you seeing how culture is shaping us? There in Karamoja, the women know that it is the role of, the community knows that it is the role of women. Even when they are growing up, they are shaped that it is you who is supposed to do what? In other words, as if it is women who are taking care of men in Karamoja. But here and other areas, you find a different story. So we look at the forms of sexual and gender-based violence. So we have emotional, that is psychological. We have harmful traditional practices. Do we understand the forms? If I say the forms. In Uganda, what is that one called? How can we say it in Uganda? How can we put that one in Uganda? That the forms of sexual and gender-based violence. Ebika byachi. Can someone put it in a different language so that we can understand better? Forms of sexual and gender-based violence. How can we say that? You put in your language, since we are afraid to put in Uganda. Someone behind you.
I think forms is, like to simplify it, like ways or and like types izachi.
So
is that gender-based violence?
Is that sexual and gender-based violence? Chiyite bwe tutyo. Types oba emiringo. Someone said emiringo. Is it? In Uganda. Emiringo ja obutabanguko. Someone said what? But have we got it? Have we understood it? Yes. You can say yes.
Me, I'm Mnyanko, I come from the West. So I think this is obutaringanizibwa obukuba buri hagati y'omushaija n'omukazi obukubanyigishiriza.
But I believe that we have understood. Yeah? In English. Maybe when we look at the forms, we shall be able to understand. I thought we would put it better in the local language. So the forms are emotional. We have harmful traditional practices. We have socio-economic violence. Are we together? We have sexual violence. I'm hearing some voice behind there. We have domestic violence, and we have physical violence. Is there any question there before we move? Any? Sorry. Yes. Somehow, somewhere, domestic violence is also independent. But it is a form under sexual and gender-based violence. You're getting me? But when we look at all these forms, they are under domestic violence. Because domestic violence became a very serious issue and a problem, it was, they decided to regulate and look at the laws, and it is now independent. It has an act called the Domestic Violence Act, so that if you commit a crime under that one, you can be tried using that specific law. But when you look at sexual and gender-based violence, they have other different acts where you borrow the case, and then you can be able to charge a person of any of the forms of violence. But domestic violence, it is a form under sexual violence, because when you look at it the way it happens, though it is under intimate partners, but it is also on its own. It is independent. So, I know we know the examples of the different forms of violence. Can we look at the examples? We begin with emotional. Emotional violence. Who is the timekeeper by there? You don't have? Hey, okay. Can I look at your time? I don't want to enter into your lunch. Can we look at the forms of, the examples of emotional stroke psychological? At least 3 people can give us the examples. Some of the examples
I think
of emotional violence.
Verbal criticism and falls under emotional violence when you verbally criticize someone.
Like? Verbally, like?
Okay, I will talk about body shaming. So if you body shame someone, it tampers with their mental stability. They get hurt, they become sad. It depends.
Exactly. Thank you. That is one example of emotional violence. Can we have someone else? And also we need to balance the gender. A lady there. And then we also get a man. Someone there? Someone with a mic? Okay.
Rejection.
Rejection. Rejection. You can be here in the whole of this class. No one wants to talk to you. No one wants to, you know. You isolate a person. And when a person has not done anything, yes, that is emotional violence.
Yelling at someone.
Yelling at
or
someone.
Insulting them.
Yes, it affects the emotional part of it, him and then her.
Yeah, stigmatization.
Stigmatization. Yes, like?
Let's say someone is sick, or let's not use STIs, and in class here I got to know him or her. Instead of being supportive, we laugh at them, we abuse them, criticize. Yeah.
For example, a person comes and you just laugh from nowhere. The person is saying, eh, what is happening? Yes, that is last one. Then we go to...
There is discrimination and segregation.
Discrimination and?
Segregation.
And what?
Segregation.
Segregation, yes, very serious one. Thank you so much. Can we go to harmful traditional practices as a form of SGBV? Also 3 people, those who have not yet said anything.
Female genital mutilation.
Female genital mutilation. Have you seen the effects? Is there anyone who has seen the effects of FGM? In pictures, when you go to Google, you will find them. Effects of FGM in pictures. Anyone that has seen? One day you will see, yes?
Another one, circumcision.
What?
Circumcision.
Circumcision.
Sometimes the knives they use are...
Can we listen?
The circumcision isn't like clean using sterilized objects. They may use the same knife on this one, they use the same knife on this one. So it becomes harmful in a way that they are spreading a disease, HIV too. So it's harmful traditionally.
I think the honorables need to look at that one because the effects there, what you have explained, it poses, especially this traditional one where it is not done by medical practitioners.
Yes.
There is a risk, but when we look at the harmful traditional practices, circumcision is not there, but the circumstances by force, circumcision by force. You have a point there.
There is killing of firstborns in some cultures.
There is what?
Killing of firstborns in some cultures.
True? Wow, which one? Don't say. Don't say because you can be eaten from here. Can we have the last one? We go to socio-economic. The last one we go to socio-economic.
There are human sacrifices. Some cultures sacrifice humans.
Really?
Yeah.
They are there but hiding.
Yeah.
Even those ones which eat dead bodies. Socio-economic, do we have some examples? Yeah. Socio-economic examples of SGBV. What is that violence? Socio-economic. Ebienfuna.
Like a woman is not working, so she depends on the husband, but the husband maybe says to give you money. Okay, no, maybe the woman is earning, so the husband tells her, you have to give me all your money. It's me supposed to budget for it. If you want to buy something, you ask for permission. Maybe if you want, he refuses to give you your money. So something like that.
You're right. 2 people, then we move to the next one.
Yeah, I
socio-economic.
think it's also manifested where a man marries a woman as their wife, and when the woman wants to work, the man is like, no, you stay home, you're not supposed to work. So he marries the woman that trait to work. Yeah, and also job places, inequalities, whereby women are given weaker positions over men who are given superior positions.
Who are given bigger positions?
Men, most times.
Exactly.
Due to the stereotypes.
But this time, we are also happy as women. This Chisanja, we are smiling. But men have always overtaken it. But this time we are somehow smiling in the cabinet, somehow smiling in some of the ministries. We are not badly off. Yes?
I think also some positions, if a woman is to go there, Some men ask for sex first.
They want to use them. I've also heard it that before students get internship, it is happening, and it is sad. If you look for an internship placement and you have to first sleep with a boss to get, first of all, that is not a permanent job. If it was permanent there, I would say the person was really badly off to get a job. But internship, you give in for an internship of 2 months, I don't really support that one. And it is happening both men and women. This time it has shifted from only girls. It is taking a toll on men. Someone was saying, yes.
Yeah. I have some point of clarification. I might take around like 30 seconds, but I have been making more research about this gender-based violence. And when I made deep into villages, I tried to interact with one of the old men. When we interacted, I was like, what causes this? Then the first key point he gave me was this. He translated it into his local dialect. It was Twingane. This thing where the government has brought woman emancipation. Ladies have come up and they want to show that they are equal to men. And the old man clearly informed me that this is the main cause, and this was the main cause of gender-based violence, because he took a case study of the long ago where a woman used to respect the husband. The woman comes in time home, prepares food very well. But this time round, it was off. Then more so, he gave me more clarification about woman emancipation, where he said that the government has tried to upbring the status of the ladies by putting them in big positions, and was like, how can the husband to the Speaker of Parliament of Uganda, the Speaker respect the husband, and yet the Speaker gains more fame than the husband? So me too personally, I looked into it, and I'm still making more research, and I beg more clarification about it from you.
Time. Can we discuss this one towards the end? Remind me before I leave. Because I know it is going to take us almost more than 10 minutes. But we shall say something. Sexual violence. 2 people to give examples of sexual violence. Sexual violence. Sexual violence.
Rape.
Rape, yes. Rape.
Defilement.
Defilement. 2. Yes.
Refuse to give partners, like.
Why are people laughing? Say your point.
Yes, it's denial.
Conjugal rights. Denial of
sexual rights in a marriage.
In marriage. We are looking at people who are married legally, is it? Are we looking at people who are legally married? Or we are looking at people who are cohabiting? You know, those are 2 different things. Yeah? Even Kaunduka Kubye Denisa, are we looking at those ones also? But is that marriage? Someone has the mic.
Get ready to fight, and then you hold your arm.
That is sexual violence. When she has consented or not, first tell us that one. causes harm. Can we go to, I think we can leave out domestic violence and we go to physical. Get 2 people and then we move. Because we have group work and it will take us time. Can we see the examples of physical violence? Physical violence. What is that one? Physical.
I think one example is like punching someone, when you go ahead and punch someone.
Yes. I'm even told that these days a boyfriend can punch a girlfriend. I don't know where you get the energy and the authority. Ngobusungu buvawa. Physical violence?
Battering, like beating.
Beating.
Wagging.
The men who are here, where do you get that urge? Beating the boyfriends. Because of what? Cheating or what? Multiple or diversification?
Disrespect.
The last one?
Choking.
What?
Choking.
Choking. Are these things happening? I know what we are normally used to is physical violence. But we have also seen that other than physical violence, we have other forms of violence. And most of the times, emotional violence, people don't take note of it. And it is one of the issues that is bringing mental illness these days. People are dying of depression. Slowly, slowly. The relationship goes bad, and the person cannot adjust, and you go slowly. Withdraw from classes. Today when you attend, in a week you attend twice. You used to attend 5 times. You begin reducing. You who had 5 friends, you now have 3. From 3 you go to. Be very careful. We have looked at that one. Physical abuse or physical violence, beating, hitting, burning, battering, slapping. We have said all that. Then emotional stroke psychological, degrading and humiliating treatment like name calling. Can you remind me of some of the names that they call people? That body shaming, which are some of the names? I have forgotten them. Chi? Beredene. Chi? Can we move on? Repeated threats to cause emotional pain. You keep on threatening a person. I will kill you, even when you don't even have any sign of killing a person. And that is a capital offense, threatening violence. It is a very serious one. You can earn yourself 7 years and above if you're taken to prison. But you can be here, you threaten, and even when you cannot kill a fly, but you're here threatening. I will kill you, I will kill you. Then backing at someone, you never know how the person can respond when you back at a person. Some people, when you back at them, they withdraw, but you may not know. Then stalking, do we know stalking? Yeah? The person goes, you slowly. You know where the person, when the person left, you know where she went. Now these days what is there is people getting a printout. They know whom you talk to. They know whom you sent a message, which type of message, you know. Ntori yakusomye. And those are the cases where we are getting murders. Because for you, your one leg is here, one leg is the other side. Enoriayo neno kodachi. Especially the ladies. You eat from different places. Then, balanced diet, itwala. Sexual violence, we have rape. Do we understand the meaning of rape? Who rapes who? Both can rape.
I think rape is one-sided because you can't rape a man if he has not elected. No. Yes. What happens to a man is he's seduced. He's not raped. You are seduced, not raped.
Me.
Me,
like I'm supporting her. For women, it's forced because we've been not wanting. But by the time I come and tell him, go, I want to have sex with you, he will agree. So I'm not raping him.
Rape.
Boys can be raped by their fellow boys, like homosexual raping. It has ever occurred in Kawempe.
Like homosexual.
Yeah, it was an Indian man or Pakistani. He raped a boy, but for a girl to rape a man, I don't know, I haven't done research about it, but for a man can rape a boy.
A boy.
Yeah.
Here.
I'm still saying that a girl can rape a boy. Because she can seduce a young boy most of the time when the boy is underage, and then rape him.
Thank you so much. Okay, let me conclude on that one. We move. How many are saying that a man or a boy can be raped? Me. Ngamuri banji. Down. How many are saying that a man cannot be raped? But what is rape?
Madam Caroline.
What is the definition of rape?
Madam, wait.
Huh?
Rape, this is when someone forces you to have sex with him when you have not accepted. Any age, but let me first support that, wait. Madam Caroline, let me first support that point that a man can be raped. Let me first support that point. Yes. A man, at certain times, not that he wants, but a woman may bring all the conditions that may lead you to do it, but you didn't want to do it. Women have many styles. They let me just stop there, but a woman can.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let me conclude so that we move.
Okay, continue. Thank you for the opportunity. Rape means forcing someone into sexual intercourse.
Okay. The key words now. We are going to English and law. The first thing is the age of criminal responsibility is 12. Do you understand that one? That anyone that is of 12 years and above can commit a crime and be produced in court and also be charged at the police. If anyone, a child is below the age of 12, that is like 11 years and 7 months, that one is not criminally liable. Even if that child killed a person, that child will not be charged and taken to court. Am I clear? Even if that child killed a person, either intentionally or not, that one will not appear in court because it's not criminally what? Liable. They think that the child did it without knowing. at that age. But if the child is 12 years and above, that one can be charged and taken to court. The difference between rape and defilement is, when you talk about rape, we are looking at people who are above 18 years, who are no longer children. And you know the Ugandan law says that a child is someone who is below the age of 18 years. We know that one? Below 18. Don't say 18 exactly. When I say below 18, I mean 17 and 11 months. Are we together? Rape, you need to underline without consent. That is what differentiates between rape and defilement. Rape, the age is above, they can be adults, but without consent. You can even go to Google and you ask the definition of rape, but in Uganda, because we have different countries have different laws, and the way they define their cases. But a man or a woman can be raped, either a man or a woman. And the rape can also be in form of coercion. You can take me to your place, you lie to me, you see. Yeah? If someone gets sexual intercourse through either you're forced or you're coerced or something of that kind, that one tantamounts to rape. The person did not consent, but because you passed like this, you ended up doing what? Raping the person. Then for defilement, as long as the child is below 18 years, whether there is consent or not, there is nothing that you will say. Am I very clear? Economic abuse. Okay? It includes rape, sexual harassment. We know sexual harassment? We know it. Huh? We know. He doesn't know. Who knows sexual harassment? Summarize it and we move.
I may not be able to give you the right, but I will bring it in form of examples. Sexual harassment. For the first example, in a way, it can be assuming a girl is dressing skimpy. Me as a guy, I look at her. That's also a form of sexual harassment. She is harassing me by persuading me. Yeah. Then sexual harassment can also be like in form of abusing someone. Okay, calling someone, can you call it like flirting with someone who is not interested? Yeah.
Sexual harassment in simple English.
I'm also going to use examples. Molesting, spanking of girls, bums. Yes, touching them. Let's say this is a girl and a boy randomly does this. Yes, that is all sexual. Then it's not only about girls, but even boys can be harassed. Like what I've done, I'm actually sexually harassing him, like trying to caress him without his permission.
With a sexual intention. With a what? Intention. Whatever you do, it can be emotional, it can be physical, it can be economic, it can be in any way, as long as your intention is sexually exploiting the person or harassing the person. It can be indecent assault. You touch anyway without even the consent of the person. The person has not accepted. From nowhere, you want to have sexual intercourse because you want to give a place of internship, you know? So sexual harassment is not, it is not only physical. It can also be sexual. It can also be emotional. Every time you are there at office, a person is doing like this. Yeah? Closing one eye. Hey, oyitawo olinga akoda bwati. That one. Sexual harassment. The only challenge is the victims are not willing to open up. And also, proving that case is hard. That is why people don't want to come out and report. Sexual exploitation, forced prostitution. There are those ones who are into prostitution, especially the children, but the person who is getting the money is the boss. For you, you're paid, maybe if the person pays 20, you're given 5,000, and then 15 goes to the boss. And then sexual assault can be sexual assault. It can be indecent assault. Trafficking, we know trafficking. That one I'm sure we know. You go to Saudi. Trafficking. But trafficking can be within Uganda or outside Uganda, as long as the purpose is for exploitation. That is the end result. Whatever they are taking you is for someone to do what? Exploit you. You may pick a maid from the village, you bring for you, you connect to your neighbor. And the neighbor pays you. The maid does not receive the what? The money. It is you who is receiving. That is trafficking, because you're exploiting the other person. Economic abuse. What's the time? Economic abuse, deprivation of all or any economic or financial resources to which the victim is entitled to under the law or custom, whether payable under an order of court. There are properties that are normally jointly owned. For example, you can look at the matrimonial home. You can look at we worked together and we put up rentals, and my children should be benefiting from that. But when the time of finishing comes, you bring your new mugore, you put in the what? In the rentals, where I constructed thinking that my children are going to benefit, maybe school fees or something, to be getting from there. Then for you, instead, you bring your new wife and you do what? You benefit from my sweat. Economic abuse. Controlling the victim's earnings. Someone is working, it is you who has the ATM card without the person's consent. Damaging the victim's credit card. Most of the times when the person refuses to give the earnings, fenat firwe. Interfering with the victim's job or school. People have even gone up to the extent of going to the person's workplace to make sure that they do what? They spoil for you. Sometimes the person has told you not to work, but you really insist. You're looking at, you have parents to look after, you have dependents, you have siblings, and you're like, kakati the fees basasula wachi. Let me also go and do what? So the worst that the spouse will do is to come to your workplace and send some omukyala wange sagala akole akole, and tries to spoil until you're chased away from the job. They tell you, first go and sort out your family what? For us, we don't want to entertain this. Withholding money for maintenance. One person is the breadwinner. For you, you're a stay-home dad or a stay-home mom, and then the person does not provide. Refusing the victim to get employment, that is a crime. Everyone has, both male and female, they have equal opportunities to go and get employment. Household necessities for the victim and his or her children. You own the household necessities or the properties, provided you have also done what? Worked for them. Property jointly or separately owned by the victim. Payment of rent related to the shared household and maintenance, and disposal of household assets. You don't wake up one day and you say we are selling a house. As who? We have also seen properties being put for mortgage in banks, but without the consent of the other spouse. That is wrong. And that is economic violence. Domestic violence. Domestic violence is specifically for, it happens in a domestic, how can I call it? A domestic setting. You know people who stay in a domestic setting? Father, mother, children. Now a child can open up a case of domestic violence against a father because they all stay in a domestic setting. At the workplace, you can open up, an employee can open up a case of domestic violence against the employer because that one is also like a mini domestic setting. We call the workplace is also domestic because we spend most of the time at workplaces. So this one is specifically so much related to the other ones and a form of sexual and gender-based violence, but they made it specific because of the intimate and then the domestic setting and the violence that was happening. That is why it is independent. And it is intimate partner violence and any other 4 forms. That is the physical, the psychological. We get that? Are we together? Yes? Harmful traditional practices. We looked at FGM, array marriages. Did someone say array marriages? Even forced marriages, no one said. But you mentioned the rest that I even didn't have. Okay. Let us look at the referral system. This one builds on the sexual and gender-based violence. What is referral? Okay, referring. Because we are looking at the referral in a form of basing on sexual and gender-based violence victims or survivors or perpetrators. Are you getting me? Are we together? It can be systems or it can be pathways. Any. We know systems. LOC, LOC1, LOC2, LOC3, district. Police post, police station, police division, police district, regions. Which other systems? LOC1, parish, sub-county, municipality. Are we together? Those are the systems that I'm talking about. What is referral? Referral, yes. Refer, just in simple English, what is to refer?
Referral to me is a place, the safe place where you can get immediate help from when you're taken. Let me say, for example, a police station, a hospital, or an elder that has been helping people. That's a referral to me.
Referral. Yes. Yes, you're right. Referral. Any other one? To refer? To refer? Yes, to refer. What is to refer?
For me, I'm going to put it in like, in case someone has come for like, maybe like in the hospital for something. Referring, this is done after someone is being assessed, asked, passed through like the counseling section, then is referred to another session to get more better services. That suit what she was passing through.
There's nothing now I can add on after that. Thank you so much. That is that. You can even clap for her. That is it. What she said and what he said, that is the referral. After assessing, then you refer for other services. Most especially the services that you do not do what?
Like I was requesting, we seem bored, so I was requesting for some small energizer, then we shake a bit,
dozing.
then we sit again.
Some energizer?
Yeah.
Adult education is very hard. Can we stretch a bit?
Yes.
So can we continue? Want to make sure that at exactly 1, you people can go for lunch. So, why do we refer victims or survivors, perpetrators of SGBV? I think that is what she said. Why do we refer? Or what I said. Eh? Why do we refer? Can someone say something? One person. One person. Why do we refer?
Let me give first an example.
An example?
Let me just first give an example, then
Okay.
relate it.
It's okay.
Now take in case that a certain hospital has failed to work on you, and your case is a bit, it needs high attention, and they take it to a bigger hospital, take say like Mulago. So if that case is not, it may be not handled by those people, they refer you to the...
Okay, thank you so much. We refer because the services that the victim or the survivor or the perpetrator needs, you may not offer them. So you refer for better services, better and other services that the victim needs. Are we together? Where should we refer the survivors or victims or perpetrators of sexual and gender-based violence? Where should we refer them? I think that one can be handled in the next group work. Some of the questions, you find them there. What services do the survivors need on referral of sexual and gender-based violence? We shall cover them when we do the group work because they are within there. Effective referral system and its importance. When a referral is appropriately, are we all seeing there? When a referral is appropriately and properly executed, it can aid recovery, psychological and emotional support, diagnosis, treatment, and specialized care. That is effective referral, meaning that you have assessed what the victim needs. For example, what is the case? Is it physical abuse? Is it sexual abuse? Does the person need a shelter? Can the person go back to the home where the case was committed? You know, you weigh and you see the services that the victim needs. Does the person need PEP? Now I'm giving you answers even. Does the person need legal services, and then you refer the person to that specific organization or institution where they can get those specific services. Because if you refer the person to an organization that does not offer those specific services, the victim might pull out. For example, you send me to here, East African University, when I need medical. When I reach here and bounce, I might withdraw. I say, after all, why would I even go? Let me leave the case. After all, I was already raped. I don't know the person. Why don't I leave? They might even not get the person. Can be vehicle. Effective system, the process by which clients' immediate needs for care, prevention, and supportive services are assessed, prioritized, and provided with assistance in accessing the necessary services. Why do we assess the needs of the victims? What you think the victim needs might not be what the victim needs. Are we together? You might think that I've been raped, I need to report a case at the police. When me, I'm not interested in reporting a case. That is the importance of assessing the what? The needs of the victim. Don't go and force someone. Don't force someone to your advice. You only give alternatives. Since this happened to you, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, and you leave the person to decide. If you decide for them, they will not implement it because they will not own the decision. Are we together? Importance of the referral system. The referral system helps in provision of better services. As I said earlier, good quality, compassionate means providing. Good quality. I know which organization provides what. I know those organizations where I will put in shelter and you eat portion beans. You saw the case of Nicole. Was she called Nicole? You saw. She's she was 14. She's not yet at this level. Yes. Who is saying no? Is there anyone saying no? Yeah? Is there anyone saying no? Are you doubting the age? You're doubting the age? Now, me, I saw the birth certificate. The short, they call it short what? Birth notification something. Me, I saw with my eyes. Yeah. At Mwaba government, she's not. Me, I saw the short one. Unless if the mistake one. But when we got her, we sat with her and assessed what she wanted. Because you cannot force her. She's almost your age. You cannot force her to do something which she does not want. You see? The reason they were saying that she has refused to cooperate with what? With the police. Because her needs were not assessed. And there is a time I remember I told her that she's going to this organization and she said she's not going. She's saying, me, I prefer to stay here. So you see, if you force her to go the other side, you will not have achieved because it was not her choice. Referral for additional assistance and services. There are services that you may not have. So you refer to those organizations and those places where a person can get that assistance. Information on possible additional services that survivors might want. I might not have information on things of the medical practitioners. PEP, I know that it is supposed to be taken in 72 hours. But there are some, either the effects that I may not know, that needs to be given by the medical practitioners. Then psychosocial support, security. The security of the victim or the perpetrator must be put into consideration. Don't leave a person to go and then tomorrow you hear that the person has been killed. For example, the Nicole's case, you never know if we had left her to just go. She would either have committed suicide or the two people that we are looking for would have also got her, and either she's kidnapped and taken somewhere so that the case dies, or she's even murdered. Who knows? Because she's the only one who could identify the rest of the group that was not yet got. Effective referral, so legal aid and livelihood programs. Information about what services are available and where, stroke how the survivors can access them is very important. A survivor should never be pressured into seeking additional services. I said that one earlier. Don't force a person to go and report a case at the police when they don't want. Maybe your forcing can be on PEP when a person has been raped, because there is a risk of HIV and AIDS. But those others that you need psychosocial support, a person has been raped, even when you force, the person will not go. So, don't force. Give the person time to make a decision. We have a case scenario. I'm told you're in 6 groups already. Yes? How many? How many groups? How many groups? 6, 7. 6 groups. Okay. 6 groups. I'm even sure that you can finish this in 10 minutes. Though I had put 15 minutes. What's the time? 12? 12:20. Can we do this in 10 minutes? 10 minutes, and then each group will be represented by one person. Okay. Someone with a story? So we are going to look at Arena's story, just 1 page and a half, and then we shall take 10 minutes, and there are 3 questions that you're going to answer, and then you pick one person to do the presentation. Timekeeper, ensure that people use 10 minutes for the group work. Can we go to the groups? How are groups made? Just the seating arrangement. Can we get back? Yes. Let's get back to our places. Let's get back to our places. Which group is ready? Get there. Get on the stage. Get on. Where is the second mic? Who has the second? Okay. Simba is ready. Can we get back to our places?
There's no confusion, my friend. Things don't work like that.
I think they're all good students that are being featured. I think they can stand here.
The whole group.
No, like the group leaders that are going to
Oh, is it the group leaders presenting? Anyone can present. But one by one maybe. Can we get back? This is not an exam. Your colleagues from other groups will even have the same things they would have brought up. Can we get back? Simba is ready.
Can I start? I'm from the future.
Where?
The future.
Oh.
My group name. Yes.
Okay.
So we are here to change, of course, for the better. So the first question says, if you were Alena's mother, what would you have done? Okay.
Members, let's listen. Wait a bit.
Jasper and your group members, what's happening?
Excuse me. Can we get back? The other groups will. Okay.
Sorry,
You
continue.
should not go beyond 5 minutes. I'll be counting now.
Okay, 5 minutes, please. Well, if I were Alena's mother, I would have taken her to a healthy center first. Anyway, if I was Alena's mother, then I would have taken her to a healthy center for the following things. Postina, this is what prevents a person from getting pregnant if they've been raped and they don't want the pregnancy. And also get PEP. This is what they give patients just in case the person who raped had an STD. For example, HIV, to prevent it. And also counseling. Going under rape, it traumatizes the victims, so they need some sort of counseling to sort of calm them down. Then my second question says, what acts of violence are reflected in Alena's story? So the acts of violence are sexual violence. This is when she was raped on several occasions. The herbalist and also the teacher. Domestic violence, this is when the father beat up the mom after knowing the story, Alena's story. There's also harmful traditional violence. This is when Alena's mom takes her to a herbalist for whichever reasons she had, and then this herbalist rapes her again and cautions her not to tell anyone about the incidents. There's also emotional violence. Rape alone can cause emotional trauma to someone. So there's emotional violence, and the fact that Alena is not allowed to talk to anyone for any sort of guidance or counseling, it's emotionally traumatizing. Thank you. Then the third question is, which services did Alena need? So I think, according to me and my group members, the services we suggested are as follows: counseling, then security, because she can't stay in her homestead. She's not getting enough security out there, and also guidance. on how to overcome what she had gone through. Thank you. I'm from the future.
The nobles.
Okay, good afternoon. Yeah, so the first question was, if you are Elena's mother, what could the nobles? What could you have done? So, me and my group, we came up with this. First, we'll talk to Elena, because remember, she's been raped, and she has come to you. So you talk to her, comfort her, like, show her that you're there for her. Then, after that, you go to the hospital for the checkups and everything. Yeah, for that after rape thing, is it prep? And then, after there, the hospital may refer you to the police, but then you have to talk to her because she's kind of has to decide whether she wants to take the case to the police. So, yeah, then you go to the police where the case is filed. Then the second question was, what acts of violence are reflected in Elena's story? First, there was sexual, because she's been raped. So that's the first act of violence against her, or in the story. Then there was violence when the father beats up the mother after finding out that the daughter was raped. Then there was emotional violence. First of all, the father blames the mom for not taking care of the child, but I don't think it's her fault. Because, he says he connived with the teacher so that the child can get raped and she gets money. That's emotional because the mom didn't do that. Then the witch doctor too, the healer, rapes her the second time and tells her not to tell anyone about it. So she has to keep that with her. That's emotional. Yeah, I think those are. Then there was domestic violence, I said it right. Which services did Elena need? First, she needed medical after she's been raped. Then counseling and therapy. Then she needed security because the teacher has been threatening her after finding out that she's going to the authority. And that's what me and my group members found.
Abako, Kavalanda, Señorita.
I'm Elizabeth. I'm coming from ESAP. That's our group. So the first question, if you are Elena's mother, what would you have done? The first thing, as Elena's mother, we're coming in the perspective that you are the mother. The first step is taking the daughter to the nearest facility, any health facility. But before doing that, in the shelters, there are people called the Nabachalas. That's what I can say. It's in Luganda. That's how I can term it. I don't know how it's termed. But those people, you first go to that lady and inform her, my child has been not raped, but defiled since she's under the age of 18. So you inform the community members so that she can proceed it either to the LC or to the chairperson, and then they proceed it to the police. So that was the first step as Elena's mom. That's what I would have done. So the second, what acts of violence are reflected in Elena's story? In Elena's story, there is a lot of violence. There is physical, there is emotional, there is psychological, everything is there. When the mom goes ahead and is beaten up by the dad, that is emotional for Elena because she's trying to communicate, but there is lack of communication in the family. Then if you see what happens to her when she's taken to the traditionist, he goes ahead also and rapes her. That's more psychological trauma and damage. And when you also see what Elena first passed through the first time of raping and again the second time, that's too much to be handled by a 13-year-old person, right? So therefore, Elena faced a lot of psychological and emotional violence and damage. And lastly, which services did Elena need? First of all, she needed the first service, I think, me and my group members, was an examination, because that's very vital, HIV status, to check it. Then they give her PEP immediately. So in case, remember she was raped the first time, nothing happened, so this is the second time. We need to examine her. Is she pregnant? Is she still safe? Is she HIV free? Then there is counseling needed. We're talking about a 13-year-old. She can't handle all this being defiled twice, and then it's all happening to her, then the mother being beaten, that's a lot of trauma. So she needed counseling from a professional. Then she needed security. We needed to offer that security to her as a young girl who has passed through a lot at a young age. So the best security was for the community to embrace her, her parents to embrace her, and at least be guided. And also, lastly, it was referral, because now she has been through emotional damage. She needed to be referred to the nearest, I would call it like a psychological center where she would be, how is it? Okay, let me use my local language, Okudabude, that one. Like, so that she can be as a normal school-going child than abnormal school-going child, like a normal 13-year-old. So referral would be the best, either to the nearest, if they could afford, maybe they take her to Butabika to speak with a psychiatrist or psychologist so that they can help her out. That's what we had for you. Thank you.
Yeah, we are from Simba. So according to the story, the first thing, if we were Alena's mom, the first thing to do is, before you can even take her like the hospital, first of all, this is a teenager. She's young, she's naive. So one thing you must first do before taking her to the hospital, because she'll have questions, you first give her that brief counseling or brief guidance. Yeah, that debrief. Tell her it has happened. Then, second, you proceed to the hospital for that treatment. Then also, after as she's receiving that treatment and aid, then I proceed to the police, the authorities, and report the case. And then also, since she knows like it has been inflicted on by a teacher, we shall also seek for for security. Yes? So you must also go and inform the police about it so that they can arrest this teacher or provide security to Elena. Then the forms of violence, sexual violence, via defilement, because she's below 18, so she was defiled. Then domestic violence, the father beating the mother, accusing her of something that he even doesn't know about very well. Then harmful traditional practices, the mother is advised to take the daughter to the witch doctor, traditional healer, who also rapes Elena in the name of extracting spirits from her. Then also, for the third question, first and foremost, healthy medical services. These are very vital. She needs them to first make sure that she's in the right state of health. Then also counseling for her mental health. Then security. Since this teacher since we see in the story that he comes back and torments this young girl again, then finally, justice must be served. Yeah, thank you.
Tom is my name, and I'm here to represent the Chipmunks. The first question goes like, if you were Elena's mother, what could you have done? So us as a group, we first put ourselves into the shoes of the mother, if at all we were the woman. And because there are some things which were not handled the right way, or they were not handled the right way. For example, a case in point, if at all something happens in a family, there are some people who are supposed to know first, like for example, the parents. So her act of going to the healer before talking to the father about it, it was not right. That's why she ends up being beaten up by the man. So it's not right, because it's him who pays the school fees. Everything that happens, the repercussions will come back to him. Even if it's paying for the medical bills, it's him to pay. So what she should have done, or what we would have done if at all we were the mother, we would have first reported to the man. We first saw the thing as a family. Then you go to the healthy facility to, let me say, for the examinations to see what can be done to solve the big impact or the repercussions. Then you go to the police. In this way, the police is the last resort. Okay, it's the final stage after talking about it and after examining the girl, because time goes as, let me say, these things are gradual. If at all you talk about it as a family, then you consult your husband, what should we do? The daughter is like this and this and this. He gives you his mind about it. So in this way, that's when you go to the medical personnel to examine if at all she's infected, to see anything you can do before even going to the police. After you go to the police, with even the medical report with you, that's how you have the evidence that she has been raped. And this is when the medical personnel have done something that can be leading to the police case. Are you getting me? The other one is the acts of violence reflected in the story. We first had domestic violence. This is portrayed by the father beating up the woman. I know this thing is common. It's common and it's real. Because if I told you are the father, your daughter gets raped or defiled, and you hear stories from the background, like your daughter was raped, the mom knows about it, and you're not even told about it, yet you are the father, you are the breadwinner, you feed the family, and then school fees is from your pocket. So this thing is, it's, some people, it's like, it happens. I don't say it's normal, that it's good, but it happens because of the, let me say, the anger. Because you feel betrayed. If at all your own family cannot report you something like this to your own child. The other thing is the medical services that should be provided to her. Let's talk about the testing for the HIV and other STIs. Here we talk about, let me say, the contraception. Because you never know if she might have conceived, right? Yeah, she might conceive in the, yeah? What? She's only capable of conceiving, 13-year-old. And the other thing is, let me say, PEP, because the traditional healer, you're not sure about his status, and you're not sure about the teacher's status. You're not sure if at all she's the first student facing this from the teacher, which means that the teacher might have been doing this again and again to different students, which means he might even be infected. The last question is the services. Still we have counseling in a way of comforting the girl because of the trauma she's going through. She's raped again and again, twice. The other thing is that sex education, because of the fact that she's still a 13-year-old girl. I think it's at a normal, let me say, normal percentage, 90% of the people even here at 13, you were still virgins, not so. You know nothing about sex, which means that if this is the age where you grin about meeting, about, let me say, sexual intercourse. So if at all this girl has to be counseled in that direction of sex is like this and this, because if at all she knew or she had an idea about sex, she might not have been defiled. Because you cannot say she was defiled in the open. It might have been somewhere. So if at all she knew something about sex, maybe she would have hesitated and maybe avoided it. Thank you. Chipmunks, Abako, Karawanda. We shake.
So thank you.
Yes. I'm Immaculate from the Transformers. And our first question was, if you were Alena's mother, what could you have done? Yes, the very first thing we could have done if we were Alena's mother would be going to the hospital. Because yes, it's true the father should know. He should be the first person to be informed. But look at this. The girl has told you that she has been raped, you're at home, the father is at work. By the time the father returns, that's at around 8 p.m., the girl told you during day, do you think you're doing good service to her? No. So I believe the first thing that we could do would be taking the girl to the hospital for an examination, perhaps to get some treatment like the PEP tablets and an HIV test. You know the rape thing, so she would have physical damage. Of course, she would have to first be treated before anything. So we believe the first thing the mother would have done was going to the hospital for a medical report, then report to the police station, because I believe the father can be called on phone to be told about the medical bills and all. So them going to the police station, getting a report about what happened would be the second thing that we could have done. Then the second question was, what acts of violence are reflected in Alena's story? We have domestic violence, where the father hit the mother. We have the threatening, where the traditional healer threatened the girl not to tell anyone. We have defilement, where the teacher raped Alena. We have the harmful traditional practices, where the mother took Alena to the witch doctor to remove whatever thing that it was. Then we have the manipulation, where Alena was being manipulated by the traditional healer not to say anything. So all that were the acts of violence that are reflected in Alena's story. Then lastly, which services did Alena need? We believe, first of all, Alena needed counseling for her mental health. She needed treatment from all, remember after the witch doctor, the traditional healer raping her for the second time, she could not move well. So literally she needed treatment from all that she was going through. Then an HIV test could be taken because we don't know the status of the teacher, nor the witch doctor. Then the psychosocial support. We believe she's going through a lot and she needs that support from the environment, from the society, rather than stigmatization. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can you clap for yourselves again? Thank you so much. Even if I left now, I know that everyone has picked something, isn't it? You have mentioned almost everything. Making a report, I will not say that the person should have gone to the police first or the person should have gone to the hospital first, but remember that we have the PEP, which is supposed to be administered within 72 hours, and the earlier, the better. So basing on that, I can say medical facility first. But remember, even when you come from the medical facility, when you report a case at the police, you're supposed to be given a medical form to take back to the doctor to fill and confirm. But it is up to the victim and the people to decide where to go. But put in mind the 72 hours. There was secondary rape by the witch doctor, so we are charging the teacher together with witch doctor. Defilement, 2 suspects. The beating of the mother, you said it. Trauma on secondary narration, narrating everywhere they go. The child will break down. At one point, the child will break down. Threats from the father, and then threats from the teacher. The rest you mentioned, Then those were acts of violence. Then which services? Psychosocial support, you talked about counseling. They needed the legal part of it because they don't know the police processes. They don't know from where to where. So they needed this. Medical examination and treatment to examine whether it's true that she was defiled. You know, you can say she was defiled, but there must be medical examination to prove that. And then treatment. PEP, we know that one. We know PEP. Silence means what? Who doesn't know PEP? Everyone knows. To prevent pregnancy and then HIV and AIDS, the victim needed shelter because we are not sure that she will be safe in the hands of the mother because already there is a lot of issues with the father. That's the security, and then referral. Can we all see in here? We can all see. We can all see. Is there anyone that is not seeing? Everyone can see. You cannot see. Well, okay, I'm going to read what is inside. So this is our referral pathway or the referral system. And it has interlinkages and interconnections. We have the community here, where we will be, or where we are always. We have our victim here. The police is in the center. We have non-government organizations. We have our health facilities here. Do we know the office of the probation officer? We have not heard of that. They are based at the district headquarters. Every district has a probation officer, and they deal with issues of children. If a child is abandoned, those ones that they abandon on the streets or where, it is hard to show you which baby is home to take and to do the documentation. I know you know Sanyu Baby's Home, isn't it? There are very many, but Sanyu is well known. So before police takes a child to Sanyu Baby's Home, we notify this person and she does the documentation. When time comes for court, when the child is put for adoption, the probation is supposed to make a report and does other things. So those ones doing social work, interest yourselves to do your internship in these offices because that is the work that they do. Then we have the prisons, we have the judiciary, we have the prosecution. I know you don't know this one. Have you heard the office of the resident state attorney? About what it is about government? Yes, this is the office. So now, our victim is here. You can either come from your home, you go and report. This community, we are counting the LOC, we are counting the Nabachara, we are counting the neighbors. You can either come from here, you go and report to the Nabachara. You can either come from here, you go direct and report your case at the police. You can either come from here and you go direct to the non-government organization, depending on the service that you need and on the violence that you have gone through. You have seen people going to human rights organizations, isn't it? Yes. Then you can come here, you go direct to the health center. For example, if you're not interested in reporting a police case, you have been raped, but you don't want to report, you can go direct to get PEP. In government facilities, it is free. And I hear it is very expensive, so I don't know how much it is sold in private. But in government facilities, it is free. Especially here in Kampala, KCCA. So, again, police can refer, a person can come from the community and go to the police. Also, police can refer a person to the community. And then a person can come from police to the non-government organization, especially to look for shelter, psychosocial support, for all those services that police does not offer. You can get, police can refer the victim to the non-government organization. Police can also refer a victim direct to the hospital, especially to do medical examination and treatment. Then the health center, you can come from here, you go to the health center, but the health center will, after assessing, will find that you need a non-government organization. For example, you need shelter for some days, or you need some money for upkeep, you need some food. So the sister here is going to refer you to an organization for those services that the health center does not offer. And also the NGO can refer a person direct to the health center. Police can refer a person to the probation officer, especially children, for shelter, for psychosocial support, because it is this one who also coordinates with organizations like babies' homes. It is her who will place the child. And then there is this one which does not come back. The police, after reporting, you report a case, they compile a file, it is sent to their resident state attorney for perusal and legal advice. It is them that read through the file and say there is evidence or there is no evidence. And later, they will send the file to police. It is them that will decide that the case should go to court to be heard, or the file should first go back to the police. But all files from police, they will go here and then they will reach judiciary. There is no file that come from here direct to judiciary. No, it is not there. And then here judiciary, it can decide to send you to prison, or it can decide, if it is a child, to send you to the probation officer, depending on the circumstances and the services that the victim needs. Are we together? So this is our pathway. That is how we work together to provide services. And normally in our trainings, you will find all of us there. We normally meet in trainings together. So that you will say, police, you're corrupt. When we send files, you eat money. We shall also say, when we send files, you do this. We shall also say, when we send you to the hospitals, you're not giving people treatment. You're not examining for free. So we do joint trainings. The role of peer educators. What is our time? What is the time? We are late by 5 minutes, so let's conclude in 5 minutes. The role of peer educators in the prevention and response to SGBV. What is our role as we are all here? First of all, sensitize the community on sexual and gender-based violence, so that people may know that it is not only physical, but we also have emotional and other forms. You need to empower the fellow peers on the prevention of sexual and gender-based violence and the response. How should they prevent? Maybe not moving at night. Since you have seen the forms, we need to look for prevention measures. You don't move at night. If you're moving at night, go together. Girls, don't move alone. You can move maybe with boys. These days there is FACE, do like this. Are we together? Ensure that survivors of SGBV within their reach report to relevant authorities. You assess the condition and the circumstances, and then you encourage the survivors to report cases to either of the service providers that we saw before. Endeavor to encourage the survivors to get PEP is very important. Even if you don't want to report a case at the police, make sure that you take PEP immediately because you will not know the status of the other person. If you are a victim of rape or defilement, for you, you begin on PEP and then you look for the status. If you can still trace the other person, you get the status. If not, take your PEP in peace for 1 month. Endeavor to respond, to encourage to get PEP and emergency pills where need be. Refer survivors to service providers for help. As we are concluding, do we still remember what sexual and gender-based violence is? We still remember? In simple English, what is it? What did we say? What is sexual? Not the definition, but what do you understand? If someone said sexual and gender-based violence, what do you understand? You have something? What can we say sexual and gender-based violence is? What have you picked? Sexual and gender-based violence. What is it? Sexual and gender. What is it?
Any act that is harmful against the person's will that is connected to the society norms.
Thank you so much. And not forgetting there, 4 forms, more than 4. They are like 5. Acts, Is there any other person? Any other person? Did people understand what sexual and gender-based violence is? You understood? Only that you're keeping quiet. All people are hungry. So as she has said, there are acts that can harm a person and are based on physical, psychological, emotional, and what? Economic, harmful traditional practices, and are also based on gender. Gender what? Gender norms. Examples of, mention the examples or forms of, no, mention the forms, not examples, because I know you know the examples. The forms of SGBV. There are 5. Yes? Emotional? Yes, physical. Domestic violence. Social? Social? Sexual? Socio-economic. Have we left any? Harmful traditional practices. Yes. What services are required by survivors of SGBV? I think we saw the services during the discussions. Yes. Is there anyone that does not know the services? SGBV affects everyone, irrespective of age, color, race, either rich or the poor, and needs a holistic approach to respond and prevent it. The reason you saw different service providers, government and private entities coming together. It is the role of everyone to report any cases of sexual and gender-based violence in the communities. It is my role, it is your role. Police cannot handle something when you have not reported. Let's help our sisters, brothers, and also parents to get justice. Any questions? Yes? Women emancipation. Is there any question on what we have discussed today? Specifically on this? Silence means No question. Yes? You have a question? Yes, madam. No.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for the session. This is just a comment. I'm adding on what we've been studying. Do you know why so many survivors of sexual gender-based violence do not speak out? Okay, we have many reasons that we may speak of, but the reason I want to speak about is something called victim blaming. Victimization, or you can call it stigma. Yeah? It is a societal thing. Yeah? It is, we make SGBV or sexual assault look embarrassing, right? And people are unable to speak about them. At times you don't know that you're doing it. And that is why one of your roles as a peer educator is not to be a victim blamer. Yeah? How does victim blaming come out? At times, have you seen when someone speaks of maybe being raped, and the first question they ask them is, where were you? What were you wearing? You were dressed skimpily, but you're a boy. Why didn't you fight it? Are you seeing? That is not your role as a peer educator. You get that? So many of us do victim blaming. You get? And that's why people even fear. In Anena's story, for her to speak to her mother, that also goes to your role. When a peer educator speaks, when someone speaks to you, a survivor speaks to you as a peer educator, it is not your role to tell their parents. They know their parents. It is not your role to take the information to their father. They know their fathers. It's the same thing with post-abortion care. It is not your role to tell any of their family members. They know them more than you do. So by the time Anena spoke to her mother, for example, and not her father, you saw what her dad did, right? And that is one of your roles as a peer educator. Confidentiality. Have you done the values yet? Not yet. Okay. One of your values is confidentiality. You do not have any right to tell the parents or the sisters or the siblings. Yours is to refer and to ensure that this person's health is, yeah? And things of saying girls should wear a particular way, that is you policing women's bodies. Yeah? That is you putting the burden on the what? On the girl. The burden is already a lot. It could be a boy, because everyone is raped irrespective of your gender and how you identify, right? Also, the other thing I wanted to talk about is, what was it? I'll remember it and we have this conversation. And I think we need to also go into understanding coercion and how it works and how power play works. But all I'm telling you is, do not be a victim blamer. Do not ever put the burden of rape. Even your language. That is why we are moving from calling people survivors of SGBV from victims to survivors, because they're not a victim. Making someone feel like they're a victim puts a burden on them. Yeah? They survived it. Also, we recommend as Reach a Hand for when you have such a case, the first place to go is the health center, right? It is always the health that comes first. Most times, 98% of the times we've gone to police, it is a back and forth. They always send you back to the medical center. It is rare. I've not seen that case where the police works on you. It is always, even when people come to us, it's always, we went to police and then they told us, or they asked them for money or for fuel. They do that, right? But then it's the very first place that we recommend is for you to take a victim to the hospital. Thank you.
Thank you so much, madam. Thank you so much. Let me... Okay. We had a question here, but I wanted to take 1 minute. It is lunchtime. I know it is going to generate a lot of debate, but it is lunchtime, and I wouldn't want us to take a long time. Someone with a mic? Did you say, I don't want to repeat the question because I will add in other words. I want it to be 1 minute specific, just straight to your question.
My question was about woman emancipation being the cause of the increased fights among families, where I had a case study. So I was like, is it for real the cause, or it's not the cause?
You wanted to say something? You didn't. The good thing is you're carrying out a research. To me, I don't think it is women emancipation is the cause of increased domestic violence and family breakups, if you have gone very far. It is not. That is just a reason. Like a person will wake up and say, let me go and drink and come back and show you. But it is not women emancipation. It is really not. It is not, because the more you equip a woman, the more you do what? You promote society to another level. You know, the women contribute to a bigger percentage compared to what? To men. But if you're to see most of the cases of domestic violence, the root cause is one, power imbalance. These others are just contributing factors. The root cause is not, this one of women emancipation has come there the other day, yesterday. But domestic violence has been there. I wish you would do that one also and interest yourselves in organizations that deal with domestic violence. Specifically look for Action Aid. Go to Uganet, interest yourselves in the offices of the probation officer and to the police. I know you will find victims who are willing to become respondents to your research, and you'll be able to get the truth.
Like, as I conclude, like according to the people I have interacted with, they show me that long ago there was stability. And but now when I interact also with the educated, you see there is that attitude. We have very many family breakups between the educated due to...
No, the reason is simple. We have been educated and enlightened, and we demand for our rights. That is the only thing. Because we know our rights, we demand for them. So men are calling that one that we are what? The corporate ones are what? They are not submissive. Can we close this chapter? One person, okay, 1 minute.
Wills, who are those people you are speaking to? Bajajabe. If you've had honest conversations with Bajajabo, the women, they were in a lot of pain. And if you've noticed, most firstborn children who are our fathers are children of rape. Ask your parents, ask, like, you're going to find out that most people in your family, firstborn children, are mostly results of rape. So what peace was there? That, look at the 70s. It was just that people were, because women were told to keep quiet and keep in kugumae, even in marriages. So people were kugumaring, not us though.
Oh, thank you so much, madam. Why don't we close this? Yes. That is true. Allow me to close this, because everyone wants to say something small. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being active participants. I wish you all the best. Those ones who will have interest in having internship with the Uganda Police, specifically in those ones doing social work, counseling, what, I do write recommendation letters. Maybe you look for me when time comes for the internship. Those ones who are interested. My number, I have very many numbers. So when I give which one? Personal number. 0702 0702 Thank you so much. I wish you the best. In case you get anyone, you need any information in line with what I have given here, look for me on that number, WhatsApp. At night you will not find it. It is always off. Thank you so much.
Abako, 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 Kavalanda. To Caroline.
Thank you so much, Caroline. Hi, people. Hi. Hope we are doing well. They've distributed the papers for the Kalombolombo. Please give us feedback on how today's sessions were. Maybe what went well and what did not go well. If everything went well, you can as well share. Then there is one communication that I want to put across. Moju. Muji, you're giving out only one. Yeah, it's all right. So, guys, we are supposed to have organizational visits next week. And we are supposed to go in our peer educators' shirts. So, if all of you have not made payment, you're delaying us. So what I was requesting is that if you have not yet given me any money, if you have not yet made any payment,